Squid Game has a major problem. In fact, it has several problems, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Squid Game, the show that got us all playing red light, green light with our friends in 2021, when we really shouldn't have. I mean, it's a dystopian horror series that features death games where actual people die like chicken on Thanksgiving. It's not exactly a family TV show. You don't go, hey, let's watch Squid Game when you're on vacation with your family. 5-year-old Billy is gonna have a hard time processing all that bloodshed. However, that didn't stop the show from becoming an instant global sensation. It got its own merch, spin-off series, even several theme parks around the world are Squid Game inspired. This show is Netflix's most watched series ever, like literally of all time, and that is insane. And we also had YouTubers jumping on the Squid Game train. MrBeast's Squid Game video is the most watched video on his channel, and this man gets a lot of views. If you haven't gotten the point by now, Squid Game was big, basically. So I was willing to bet literally my entire existence that Netflix would make a season 2. To be fair, you don't exactly need to be that so raven to guess that one. The real question wasn't if there was going to be a season 2. The real question was if it was going to be any better or even remotely as good as season 1. And with the season 2 now out, I think it's safe to say we have the answer to that question. Now, no one was expecting season 2 achieve nearly the same heights of commercial success as season 1 did. Season 1 was like a glitch in the Matrix. It was an unprecedented show that came out at just the right time. It was truly a no one understands what the frack happened there moment. So no one was expecting season 2 to achieve the same commercial success, even though it will still be talked about and widely recognized. But whether or not it's good is another conversation, and I'm going to say it, for me, this season wasn't as good. It had some pretty major problems, like literally the first 2 episodes. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but the first 2 episodes of this season were effing slow, and I don't know whether it's TikTok brain or something. I don't even use TikTok anyway, so it can't be that, but I really had to slog my way through, especially the first episode. That one was brutal. There wasn't much going on at all. I get it was trying to build on what had already happened in season 1 and answer some of the dangling questions from season 1, but I felt they could have congested everything that happened in those first 3 episodes into episode 1. The pacing was too slow, and for a show like Squid Game, you'd think it'd move a bit faster, since most of the good stuff happens during the games. In season 1, things moved significantly faster. We were introduced to the struggles of the characters that would participate in the games. We got to see some of their motivations, and right from episode 1, we got to see the contestants play the iconic red light, green light. And I kid you not, that creepy doll gave me nightmares for a week. Not a big fan of dolls. Anyway, in season 1, right from the very first episode, we got to see how intense the stakes were in the show. And just like the characters in the show, we the viewers came to the horrid realization that this is not a joke. Shit just got real in an instant. This immediately upped the tension in the show and set the scene for what was to come in the following episodes. In season 2, we did get some kind of game in the first episode with the recruiter, but it wasn't nearly as impactful or shocking, because first of all, it wasn't related to the dead games that take place on the island, and secondly, nobody really cared about those characters, okay? They were just really stupid, and the position they found themselves in could have been 100% avoidable. I don't know, the whole scenario with them was just stupid, and I feel like everything that had to do with those characters specifically was just unnecessary. In season 2, the actual death games didn't start until like the 3rd episode, which was just like a lot of wasted time in my opinion. But moving on, let's talk about the characters in the season, specifically the contestants. Now, Squid Game season 1 set a really high bar when it comes to characterization. The characters in season 1 were phenomenal. They were fleshed out and relatable and just awesome. Characters like Gi-hon, Sung-woo, Kang Se-byuk, and others, there are a lot of them, I just don't want to keep butchering their names. But yeah, the characters and the acting was phenomenal. They really portrayed what it truly meant to be in that position and some extra. Don't get me wrong, the characters in season 2 are good as well, but some of them, well, they don't really scream, I'm doing this to get out of debt, you know? Some of the characters in this season look like they were placed there like people participating in a reality TV game show. It was more of a performance, really. I mean, not to get into any major spoilers, but a good example of this is in the 3rd episode, when a rap superstar happens to be in the games with them, and you just see some people flocking around him begging for a selfie like they're at the mall or something. And I'm sitting here like, what the f***? These guys don't look like they're going through an existential crisis. Now that's just a minor example, and it wasn't the case for the entire season, but it was still worth to watch nonetheless. And this is a great segue into my next point, which is the tension. The tension in this season felt significantly less than in season 1. There is no other way to put it, that's just the truth. And some people have attributed this to the games. They say the games aren't as dire as they are in season 1. They're pretty low stakes, basically. I'd like to argue that though, because with the exception of the tug of war and the glass towel games that have like immediate deadly consequences, to be honest, all of them have immediate deadly consequences, but those two in particular were pretty high stakes. With the exception of those two, I'd say every other game were children's games that in the real sense weren't thought hard, but because of how fatal they were made to be, they carried very high stakes. So it's not about the games not being deadly enough. I think the reason why the games didn't have as much tension this season is because no character of real significance died. In season 1, we see these characters that we are rooting for, following, die before our very eyes in the most excruciating, horrific way imaginable. And that was awesome. It increased the tension astronomically and my investment in the show, because now we have the feeling that literally no one is safe. But here, I wasn't feeling that. There were a couple of characters, specifically a mother and her child, that I was beginning to get invested in their story, and it would have added that tension if they were in actual immediate danger. I don't know why I keep saying actual immediate danger, they're always in immediate danger, but I mean like where I actually believe they're going to die and maybe they even get bashed up a little, I don't know. I know I low-key sound like a psychopath when I say this, but trust me, it would have made the season 10 times better. On episode 5, there were still so many contestants with only 2 episodes left, and I was thinking, man, the next game better be a bloodbath, because why are there still so many people? I don't want to talk further about this because I really don't want to get into any spoilers, but yeah, the tension was there, but it definitely wasn't as gripping as season 1. I feel another reason for this is because the writer of the show really wanted to focus on some core themes of the show this season, rather than on the dead games itself. And by core themes, I mean the fact that people will do anything for not even money, but the illusion of money. In season 1, the writer was a bit more nuanced in portraying this theme, but in this season, they were pretty upfront about it. Now, the biggest problem with this season by far is the fact that it's one of 2 parts. They should have really just called this season 2 part 1, because that's really what it is. Most of what goes down this season is a setup for what's going to come in season 3. So I don't get it. Why not just call it season 2 part 1 then, and make it 5 episodes, which is really how long it should have been, rather than making it a complete season and then coming with another season that's really just a payoff of the previous season. Don't get me wrong, this season does have its merits and narrative importance. However, in crafting this season like this, it felt like a season with a lot of filler and unfulfilled story arcs. This has to be its biggest problem by far, and some fans on X were not having it. This X user wrote, "I cannot freaking believe that season 2 ended on a goddamn cliffhanger. Multiple exclamation marks. I know, right? I thought the season was supposed to wrap it up too. Apparently not." Another fan wrote, "Just hold yourself till season 3 is out. I don't really feel the excitement like I felt from season 1. Same here, pal. I mean, this person literally read my mind." They continued saying, "First 2 episodes were good, but I had to skip a lot of scenes. It felt like they stretched this season unnecessarily." I mean, what else is there? That's exactly what I've been saying. Now, was the season awful? Not at all. It was actually a good season, and it's still better material than 95% of the things that come out of Netflix. To be honest, that's not an enviable award, but yeah, it's still one of Netflix's better shows, regardless. I mean, it's pretty solid storytelling, and they did still keep a lot of the things that made the first season special. The writer didn't try to entirely rewrite the wheel with this one. He stuck with a lot of things that worked in the first season and just explored a bit on some other things that weren't really covered in season 1. Oh, and yeah, Gihan didn't keep the haircut, so that's good. There was one character that really got on my nerves this season, a pink-haired rap star. And the only thing I can say about that character is, yikes. Okay, well, he was genuinely kind of funny sometimes. Anyway, have you watched Squid Game 2? Have you not? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and I'll be sure to respond to it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. You'll be helping the channel a great deal, much more than you think. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. I will see you in the next video, right? Right?